Yeah, it's true. And then
I don't know.
going back to Ryan's comment, actually, I didn't address it properly, but um, do you think it's true that there's this notion of like within Igorots of not really necessarily being connected with their feelings? Does that make
Hmm.
sense? Like, uh, like I don't know, maybe they suppress things a lot, or there's not as much expression of these feelings. Maybe does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that goes into the whole idea of the Stoic Indian, where
Right.
yeah, there is a sort of like repression, and I've noticed I've noticed this in what a lot of like Igorots talk about, where it's like kind of like keep your head down and don't be too emotional because the values of Igorots is kind of like to just work hard and don't be too tempered on certain things, and that's an example of what people point to where, oh yeah, look at the noble Igorot, the stoic Igorot, where it's all just about like working hard and not being influenced by certain like external forces, and
Mm.
that's usually like an example of, oh yeah, they're always hardworking and they just they stay quiet, they don't anything. Like to me that's a really like positive thing, but there are like psychological implications on like mental health and stuff. But at the same time too, um like going back to the whole Stoic Indian thing, in First Nation communities there is a lot of mental health issues. There's a high suicide rate for indigenous people in North America because of the notion of like suppression and repression. And I'm not sure if that translates at all to Igorots, but I do think that there's a parallel towards it. Like I don't know the full statistics of uh, suicide rates in the Cordilleras, but there is like statistics with indigenous peoples in North America. But
I don't
that's
know
just my
about
take.
if that suicide rate is directly correlated to just that factor, though, because I think
Right? No, that's true.
there's a
That's
lot
good pointing.
more
Yeah.
that goes into. But yeah,
Mhm.
I know I get what you mean. Like, I don't know. Do you guys like personally? I kind of agree that it was definitely. I mean, for me, the problem was going into nursing school. I had to be able to self-reflect and get all touchy-feely. Um, so that was a little difficult.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
There's also the whole macho thing, right? For Igorots, especially for Igorots back home, right? It's all about the macho cowboy esque
Right.
like stoicness. There is that.
Yeah, there is,
Yeah.
especially in different areas. Especially, I think that there's a thing where like you, especially men, they're not supposed to, like in general, don't show. I've seen it from the women too. They're
Hmm.
not supposed to
Hmm.
show certain
Yeah.
emotions
Yeah.
Yeah.
outwardly, in the sense, to show like you always want to show that you have some sense of control over your emotions, and I think that like I don't know, like
Does that stem from like showing weakness to like other tribes? You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
I I wonder.
That's
maybe
a
it
good
just
point.
stems as it goes into just to the culture of what it means to be a man or what it means to be a woman or whatever. You know what
There's
I mean?
yeah. There's definitely
I
that.
think that's kind of like it's part of the culture that has kind of like, even though we don't have the dapai or the ato anymore, it's some of that has kind of carried over